I got too many hoes. Hey, you like to put that shit in your nose. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. You already know what to do. Before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I just lost 2 subscribers today. I don't know where they went. I don't know, maybe because I'm not posting like I'm shit. But I'm sorry. I'm going to be posting every day now. When my son goes to school, I'm going to hop right on this camera and then I'm going to go to school. That's it. That's all. No excuses. So yes, let's get right into this video. We're on Hollywood today. Hollywood, you already know we're doing a little something, and you know Halloween's coming up, so I might inch in some scary stuff here and there, but we're gonna do a lot of stuff, a lot of whatever, a lot of mixy because I know y'all want different things. So yeah, let's get right into this video. Let me close my door real quick. And yeah, I missed you guys and I know you missed me. So yeah, and I didn't know people be unsubscribing. Like, they ain't gonna unsubscribe me. I'm coming back. Like, you weren't loyal. You were never loyal. What? That's crazy. Okay, let's get into the video.
It's still just the beginning. I've been holding on to this Hollywood story for like 10 years. When I tell you, I first-handedly saw celebrities that you wouldn't even think need to finesse people into doing things. Alright, let me just spill it. Back in 2011, when Instagram first started, I was what was called an IG model. Lived in Miami, grew very fast, ended up on like club flyers and all that. I went by a different name. The one that you see down here today is literally because I wanted to switch it so they could never like really associate with me again. So they hit me up and they're like, hey, we want your help for this project. They get me on FaceTime with said celebrity. A celebrity that every woman loves. Or mostly all. So I knew it was real. I knew this person was right there, and later on I met them in person. There were different intentions. When I get to LA, they tell me that not only was I doing said innocent job, but I was also in charge of basically convincing girls, the same other professional models, to not only get with said celeb who doesn't really need help to get girls, like, he is a handsome person, but his team as well. And I was just not with it. Got to escape that whole scenario the first visit, but then the second visit, it was the same thing all over again. A lot happened in the mix that I don't even want to bring up, and I once again did not want to do XZ, so they hid my luggages. It was me and 2 other girls. I called the celebrity and I was like, where is my stuff? The hotel ended up finding it somewhere just hidden in the hotel. The gist of the story is I think everyone in Hollywood is just all trying to do you know what to whoever. And I feel like they actually enjoy getting with people that don't want to be with them rather than just sticking to people that want to be with them. Like, it has to be like a pride thing, like a controlling, like I got you, like I don't know. They do try to blackmail you and make it seem as if this is like going to make or break your entire career, which I feel like to some people it may do so, but I was so early on, I'm like, this is nothing. I ended up deleting my entire Instagram, went years without an Instagram. Fast forward to 2018, I started a new Instagram, started in social media marketing, and here I am today. I already made over 7 figures in digital products from social media, just chilling at home. And my BJs. And that is how I named myself Shylee. They wouldn't trace me back. I think that was everything. Believe all the Hollywood stories.
When I was in high school and college, I would sometimes do extra work on TV and movie sets just to make some money because it was like a really easy job to do. And one time I was on this movie set and I'm talking to this girl and she's like telling me about all these famous people that she's met and hung out with, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I thought she was lying because she just didn't give me the vibe of somebody who had like access to those kind of people. Like, she kind of gave me like horse girl energy, but I'm just like sitting there listening.
Don't judge a book by its cover, girlie. We could easily judge you.
Her. And then she mentions to me how one of her good friends used to date Paul Walker, and that's how she was able to meet like all these other people. And then she tells me how her friend was actually dating him when he passed away, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's so crazy, like I'm sorry to hear that. That must have been really traumatic. And she's like, yeah, you know, like they've been dating since she was in high school. And in my head I'm thinking like, yeah, since they both both were in high school, right? Like high school sweethearts, because I didn't know that man's dating history. So later on that day, I look it up on my phone because she told me the girl's name, and like lo and behold, there's all these news articles about like how they were allegedly, I don't know if it's even alleged, like dating since she was 16. And this is when I was still really young and I hadn't fully woken up to the idea that men who prey on underage girls, it has nothing to do with their lack of ability to get women their own age. Because my logic at the time was that a lot of men who like to date underage girls are doing it because they're lame. And even if you think about it, like even if you are a lame and like you're just like women repellent, there are other ways to deal with your loser behavior besides dating a teenager. But when you start coming across people who are good looking or who are rich or who are celebrities and they're still engaging in that kind of behavior, you realize it has nothing to do with their inability to get women their own age. Don't get me wrong, a lot of celebrities are lame in fact, like when you meet them in real life, but that's the thing, they're still like rich and famous, so you can still be a loser and people will still want to be with you and date you. And I think this is a big reason why a lot of celebrities get the benefit of the doubt when like allegations about them come out, because people think like you could have any girl in the world, like why would they want someone who's like illegal to date? And that's the thing, that can probably be like one of the reasons why they like it, because it's like taboo, or they just like the power dynamics, or they're just a freak, like just a freak, a weirdo, and a degenerate. And I think a lot of us are starting to like wake up to the fact that a lot of celebrities that we idolize, if they were not rich and famous, they would be the kind of guys who show up to high school parties like 5 years after they graduate. Yeah. But once I started to really realize, like, it has nothing to do with somebody's status or how they look. Like, if they're a weirdo and a creep, like, that's just what it is.
Sometimes I think I miss Hollywood, and then, you know, I walk around at night like this, and I realize, you know, this place is demonic. It's like the devil's soul lives in Hollywood. Like you can feel it. Like if you have any God in you, like if you're spiritual in any way, anytime you're in Hollywood, you feel sick. Like you feel uncomfortable. There's like literal devil here. Satan lives here. Like I can feel it. Like I feel so uncomfortable. I just want to go home so badly. The devil himself lives here. I don't care. This is where he packed his stuff when he left heaven. He didn't go to hell, honey. He came straight to Hollywood and reside.
And that's what people don't realize. When God cast him out of heaven, he cast him down to earth. So he dwelled wherever he went in the third of the angels. So they dwelled wherever they wanted to go. They went wherever they wanted, in caves, water, mountains, wherever. They're everywhere.
It's here. I cannot believe I spent 10 years on this block. I cannot believe my soul didn't go with me.
Where do I even begin? Several people have sent me this TikTok and asked me to share some of my experiences, so here you guys go. I literally lived in Hollywood for 2 years and all this random shit happened to me. When people say Hollywood is haunted, they are not joking. The amount of paranormal experiences that I experienced living there. One time I was in an Uber, it was late as fuck at night, maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. We are on a hill, okay? We're at a stop sign on a hill. There is nowhere for anybody to come from. And out of nowhere, someone starts banging on the window, help me, help me, help me. Literally screaming. Scares the fuck out of me and my Uber, and we look at each other. See, he's better than me because he got out the car. I rolled my window down. Tell me why there was nobody there. In the building that I used to live in, several people have allegedly taken their own lives. The amount of times that my sheets would be pulled off of my body in my bed, forks thrown at me, papers flying. And it ain't just the ghost you gotta be scared of, it's the people alive too. This woman used to stand outside my window, okay? She put butter in a sock. I kid you not, this is not iCarly, this really happened. Anytime somebody went by on a bike, whack. Anytime somebody walked by, whack. Try to drive your car past her, she's gonna smash your window in. I have almost been pulled into several people's cars. While waiting for Ubers or, walking around, I've been grabbed by random men and they would start literally kissing me up my arm, on my cheek. There's a museum of death. I don't know why I went in there, but I did. And I'm pretty sure something followed me out. Let me not even get into the shit that I saw at this party. While looking for the bathroom, I opened up a door I shouldn't have. And I saw some shit that I shouldn't have. And I genuinely wish I could erase it from my memory. And the only way I got out of that situation was pretending that I was high and drunk and acted like I didn't see anything. The things that I was offered in exchange for money and fame. I'm sure some of y'all hear about, the satanic shit that happens out in Hollywood allegedly, and some of y'all probably think, oh, it's probably just a joke or a rumor. People that you wouldn't even expect to be involved in that stuff are involved. The amount of times that I would witness literal children in adult spaces, lifestyle that you see a lot of these IG models and Instagram famous people living. You think all these girls are funding these expensive lifestyles with brand deals? With a little Taco Bell sponsor? That ain't their only sponsor. I understand why all these movies try to make Hollywood look like this glamorous place. There's over 50,000 homeless people in Los Angeles. And that's probably not counting everybody. I got DM'd by somebody that I guess you can consider a celebrity. When I got there, I wasn't the only girl there. And the first thing that I was told by one of the other women, "Oh, is it your first time too?" The second those words left her mouth, I left. I don't even want to know what that meant. I was told that it was just going to be us, so I don't know what I was about to get into, but I'm glad I left. I'm running out of time, but I have a ton more stories. Y'all want them?
It is literally true that Hollywood is the devil's playground, and I lived in Hollywood, so I can say that. I lived on the Strip, like Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know why nobody told me not to move there, but I did, which was a very big mistake. I cannot tell you how many times I saw and heard of people dying around me, and it's crazy because I'm not somebody who's ever experienced that in my life, but in the building that I lived, someone jumped off the balcony of my floor and committed, someone also on my floor, and his body was left to rot for months, probably like 8 months since before I had moved in, which is insane. And I have proof of this, and I'll actually do a story time another day because, like, I was, like, a little, like, investigator, and I found this out myself. Like, I don't think anyone else knew, but I 100% knew. Someone from my building was throwing glass objects from, like, the 3rd floor into the courtyard. I walked out my house at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I saw someone shooting up into their veins. Yeah. I would see people screaming and shouting and crying, laying on the floor, like begging for help, and nobody would help them. The energy and vibes were so bad in that apartment that I literally broke my lease, and I paid $3,000 just to get out of there. The more you know.
I'm getting out. I still live in Hollywood too, more specifically the Hollywood Hills, but I would always come down to Hollywood Boulevard to like eat and run errands and stuff because it was close to my house and I didn't have a car. So sometimes there would be movie premieres at the Chinese Theater, and I would come out of a movie screening, and it'd be really late, like 11 or 12 p.m., which is way later than anyone should ever be on Hollywood Boulevard, period. I've seen people overdosing right on the Walk of Fame with a needle sticking out of their leg. I've seen people with machetes and knives just slicing the air in front of them, hoping to get somebody who passes by. I've seen people sell drugs out the back of a truck. I've witnessed a hostage situation at one of the apartment complexes on Hollywood Boulevard. A SWAT team had to come and rescue the person, and I was literally having dinner next door. I've been punched in the back of the head by a homeless person. I just can't imagine spending all your hard-earned money to come to LA and see Hollywood Boulevard.
Hi, my name is Riley Dismore. I work in film and television, and I'm doing this series called Hollywood Horror Stories to help explain why people are so fed up with the industry. So to start, I've been doing this for about 7 years. I've directed, I've written, I've produced, I've done hair and makeup, I've done cinematography, I've done production design, and I don't mean that to brag, I just mean that to give some context that I do know what I'm talking about, and I do understand these issues from the perspective of other departments. And honestly, I'm really scared to be posting this stuff because I don't want to get blackballed, but I also don't want to be a part of the problem. And I think it's really dangerous, the things that are going on, and I just want people to know that they're not alone, and also, like, I'm not crazy. So one of the first, like, really cool sets I got to go on and work on, I was doing hair and makeup, and we were shooting on this really cool island, and I was so excited about it. I'd never been to this island. I'd never worked on anything on such a cool location. I was freaking psyched. I land on the island. It's literally like a movie. I feel like the main character. They pull me from the plane and they bring me directly to set. Like I'm pulling my luggage through the jungle, and this paradise unfolds in front of me. It's unbelievable. I'm also using this Lisa Frank palette. How cute is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Love it. And on top of that, that was the first time that I got to work with a big actor that I really admired. I was so excited to meet her and do her makeup and essentially live with her for a month on this island. It was amazing. I was doing makeup on this movie, and the main actress was not this actor that I was excited to work with. She was another girl who was lovely, woman who was lovely. And when we started doing makeup tests before shooting, that's when the director started coming to me and acting insane. And trigger warning for this point forward, this gets really nasty about women's bodies. This gets rough, okay? The director would come up to me, and sometimes in front of the actress and sometimes in front of the actress's mother, and say, hey, is there anything you can do about her gums? Like her gums show. Hey, can we give her a little Botox up here? If you see her ordering McDonald's, throw it in the trash.
My food.
Because we need her to lose weight.
What am I gonna eat?
One, I'm not a licensed medical professional. I can't do Botox, and I wouldn't even if I could. And two, she just said it to hurt that girl's feelings. And three, it doesn't matter what that girl's body looked like, you cast her. And she was healthy. It doesn't matter what her body looked like, she was healthy. And it was shit like this every day for a month. And again, I'm really scared to be posting this, but I think it's important so we stop getting treated like this.
Nobody ever talks about the dark energy of Los Angeles. And if you're from here, you're exempt. You grew up here, it's a different situation. But if you're not from here and you've moved here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's cool at first. Mansion parties, palm trees, celebrities everywhere, Lamborghini Uruses driving around all the time. First, you're like, yo, this is lit. But when you're done with all that, you done seen every celebrity, you went to every mansion party, you done seen every car, you just kind of want to settle down and chill. That's when it starts getting real dark, because I've been here 5-6 years. I'm from the DMV, and at no place ever have...
Okay, he from the DMV. Woo, woo, woo. He sound like he probably like from Maryland or Virginia. Maybe. I'm from the DMV, so yeah.
I felt like I've been home here. Like, it's a nice place to live. I love it, but I don't feel like I'm at home. I always have that feeling in the back of my head that I'm not doing enough. I don't got the nicest car. I don't have the nicest house. I'm not making the most money. And you can never fight...
Most of these people have rich parents, or like they like are famous a little bit. Like, don't feel bad about that. Most of these people be getting stuff handed to them, like literally.
Because you go outside, you see some 18-year-old driving some brand new Porsche G2 RS, and you're like, what am I doing wrong with my life? And I done seen it happen to too many people. I see people from other places move here and become a completely different person, because society tells you in Los Angeles, you got to be that perfect person. You got to make the most money in the world. If you're not, you're behind. I always feel like I'm behind here, no matter how much money I make. And I don't like the way it makes me feel. And that's not everybody's experience. I understand it. But for me, I'm like, Los Angeles type place where you come, you finesse, you get the money, you get everything together, and you get out before it consumes you. Because if you stay too long, it'll get you.
So I went to this Hollywood party for the first time last night, and a lot of people there were actually really, really nice. But I cannot get over two interactions I had with people there that were just like, I was like, what the fuck? So the first one was that I met a plastic surgeon, and he came with a group of people, and my friend knew some of the people in that group, so she went to say hi to them, and it just like left him and me. So he was like, oh, how do you know these people? And I was like, I don't know these people. And I was like, how do you know these people? And he was like, oh, I did all their faces. And I was like, what? Wait, what? And he was like, yeah, I'm a plastic surgeon. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then he was just like, you should really stop by one time. And I'm like, okay. I literally said this. I was like, do you think I need plastic surgery? And he was like, oh, well, you know, everyone needs a spa day. Yeah, you should come by my office. It'll be so much fun. He was like, I did so-and-so's Botox. And I was like, are you allowed to tell me things that you've done on other people? Like, doesn't that break patient doctor confidentiality or whatever? Yeah. I said this to him because I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he just goes, oh, well, I'm allowed. I asked permission. Isn't that still sketchy? Like, I feel like that sounds sketchy.
Who'd you
The other interaction I had was with this influencer, this content creator. Because it was like a Hollywood party, you know, we just like somehow started talking, and he was like, are you an actor? And I was like, well, I'm like trying to do some more traditional media stuff, but like I'm mostly on social media, like as a content creator. And he was like, oh, I'm a content creator. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then he was like, how many followers do you have? Like, what? I've never in my life been asked that question. In the years that I've done social media, I've never in my life been asked that. And I was like actually flustered because I was like, why? Like, why does that? Like, can you stalk me after this interaction like a normal person? Like, why are you asking me this question? And I was like, I mean, I was truthful. So I told him, and he was like, oh, well, I have over 13 million.
Good.
Like, did you ask me that so you could brag about how many followers you have? Or did you ask me that because you were deciding in your head, like, whether or not I was worth talking to? I'm not sure, but that was weird, right? I don't know. I had a lot of fun though. There were like a lot of really nice people. Those were just like 2 interactions that really like sunk in my brain because I've never experienced people like this before. Story time, and don't worry, I'm not going to do one of those raps, although I would quite like to. Friday afternoon, I get home and there's a notice, stop, on my door, addressing the residents of my neighborhood. It's a big neighborhood, there's like 100 houses up this hill, that there's going to be a single launch party and the whole neighborhood is going to be locked off. So if anyone wants to drive up the hill to get to their house, they won't be able to because security won't let them. Unless you can prove you're a resident, of course. I'm like, who is famous enough to shut off a whole neighborhood? Anyway, my girls were collecting me that night at 9 p.m. to take me to an event. They call me and they're like, hey, you've got security at the bottom of your hill and they're not letting us up. So I marched down there, in my heels, down the hill. When I got down there, I went crazy and I demanded to know whose party it was. And the security and the police on the mopeds replied, we can't divulge in this information. It's a very high-profile person. Anyway, cut to an hour later, the event we were at was rubbish, so we decided to go back to mine and try and sneak into this party. We speed past security, get to the gates of the party, and they say, are you on the list? I'm like, no, but I'm a resident, and if you don't let us in, I will make a noise complaint. I can't believe I said that either. Anyway, it worked, and we got let into this party. And this house was like nothing you have ever seen before. I've not even seen anything like it on Selling Sunset. So we're there, there's mermaids in the pool, and the crowd is looking a little young. But we were convinced it was either Offset, Nicki Minaj, because they'd released singles that day. And it was a single launch party, apparently. So this place was packed. This person must be pretty popular. So me and my friends were like, okay, we're just going to have to ask someone whose party this is. So I went over to this girl and I was like, hey, whose party is this? She looks at me like she's seen a ghost and says, do you not know? This is Smiles. This is Smiles' party. Who is Smiles? I would honestly love to know. I've tried searching for this guy. I can't find anything. But he shut off a whole neighborhood, a whole hill. The whole of the West Hollywood Hills was shut off for Smiles. Smiles, where are you? I'm dying to know who you are. Anyway, we didn't meet said Smiles because I'm boring. I needed to get home and sleep. But yeah. Downtown LA. But yeah. Can anyone help? We need to find this mystery man, this mystery Smiles.
I know I'm gonna sound crazy, but there's a demonic entity that's over downtown LA. I've lived in so many different cities as a psychic medium, and all night, all morning, all I hear are ravens crowing, like it's a horror movie or an Edgar Allan Poe poem. They just go, caw, caw, like an ominous, demonic, horror movie-like sound. You know, normal neighborhoods, like when I lived in Utah or Maryland, you wake up to birds chirping. You wake up to cricket sounds. No. In downtown LA, you wake up and go to bed with the sound of ravens cawing, like they're birds circling around a witch's castle, like it's out of a Disney movie. And then if you walk down here, so many homeless people, so much toxicity, I don't know what it is.
I'm moving out of LA after living here for almost 10 years in a month. I'm just wondering if anybody else who has escaped LA has experienced what I'm experiencing or realizing now. I literally have fucking LA trauma. And I'm realizing this as I'm interacting with people from a different state, from a different part of the country. And I have like these trust issues that I didn't even know I had. I just have this sus feeling about everyone, almost like they're going to scam me or use me or betray me. And it's not like I have a ton of experiences in LA with this. I think it's genuinely like the energy, like the intuitive vibe that I am getting from people in LA, and that I've just normalized over the years. I know people say there's like this very opportunistic feel to people in LA, this feeling that comes from people that's like, okay, but what can you do for me? And that's kind of how people mingle here and have friendships. I've really secluded myself, if I'm being honest, over the last few years. I've been in a relationship, so I don't really go out. I'm just kind of at home. And I miss being social, but I think that energetically, like, I've just gotten so turned off to what's here, and without even consciously knowing it, I just kind of internally knew, like, I'm not really fucking with this anymore. And so I've been having this call, like this intuitive hit every time I take some shrooms. Every time I'm getting told to move the fuck out of LA. And I first got this like 2 years ago, and then I signed a 2-year lease. So I have felt kind of trapped for the last 2 years, and my soul has just wanted to get the fuck out. And I know I'm not the only one feeling this, because I have related to other people who have expressed the same thing and have also since moved. But I'm just curious if anybody has experienced this like post LA drama of realizing how distorted our view of reality and our view of relationships has been from living here. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think it is. So let me know. I'm sure so much more is going to be made aware to me when I'm actually out of here and out of here for a while. So I'm interested to see what else comes up for me. But yeah, right now I'm really noticing like a lot of like trust issues.
Hey guys, I'm back with another story time. Today's video is going to be a little bit more on the dark side. So I want to put a trigger warning, and this is something that personally happened to me. As you guys know, I've been doing influencing for the last 10 plus years, and for about 2.5 years I lived in LA, and I had quite a bit of questionable experiences. This experience being getting invited to a fake photo shoot by a fake photographer and having one of the worst experiences of my life. This whole situation took place in Silver Lake, California. It's a really small city next to Glendale, which is in LA. So I was reached out to via DM on Instagram by a magazine that doesn't exist, and right after I had this situation happen to me, the account was gone. Not a famous one, it was not Vogue, it wasn't Glamour, it was nothing like that. But sometimes you would see influencers be featured in random magazines in LA that, wouldn't have a huge following, but, it's cute, it's an experience, right? So I thought it was one of those situations. The account maybe had like 1,000 or 2,000 followers, but I thought it'd be fun. I wasn't going to get paid for this shoot, but of course I was going to be featured on the cover as well as on their website. They told me I was going to be shooting in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Beverly Hills, so why did I get sent an address to Silver Lake? And the fucked up part is that my intuition told me not to go. Even my best friend at the time told me, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I just wanted the experience. So the photographer I was supposed to work with, all they told me was his name was Carl. The address they gave me was actually a couple houses down from the actual address that I was supposed to go to, because they told me, just go a couple houses down to the left and you'll see the person waving you down. Immediately, I'm like, okay, this is not the multi-million-dollar property that they promised. This was like a one-bedroom little bungalow type thing. The photographer was nice at first, but immediately he started trying to get me drunk. He said that he did this with all the models just to loosen up and have a good time. He was turning music on. When I say this man was trying to get me drunk, he kept pouring them and pouring them. But I stopped after 3 shots because I'm not really a drinker. I was definitely tipsy, but I was not drunk. So I was fully aware of everything that was going on. I've gone to some shoots with friends and they'll have makeup artist, hair, outfit, everything. This wasn't there. They told me to bring pajamas. They told me to bring loungewear, comfy type stuff. So I was thinking, this is going to be a comfy, cozy type shoot. So after taking a couple of photos, everything was fine. And then he started saying, I don't know, these photos aren't really working out. This man came up to me while I was posing and pulled my shorts up into a wedgie, basically to expose my entire ass. Said, oh yeah, that's better now, and continued to take pictures. I was uncomfortable, of course, but I was like, okay, maybe these will look better, I don't know. Girl, I was only 20, but if I'm gonna be honest, mentally, I was maybe 17. I was very sheltered growing up and did not have a lot of experiences, so I was very naive to a lot of stuff. After taking a couple more photos, he pulls out a box and it is filled with Polaroids. These Polaroids are a bunch of girls either half naked or full nude, and they were all in loungewear, comfortable type clothes like I was, but they were exposing themselves. He asked me if he could take a couple pictures of me like that. I immediately said no. I was like, sir, I thought this was something different. I think you have the wrong person for this job. This man tries to start pouring more shots, talking about, all the other girls did it, it's fine, it's not weird. If you think it's weird, you're weird.
No.
Not him trying to gaslight me. After saying no like 12 freaking times, this guy comes up to me, picks me up by my and starts spinning me around, starts squeezing me, starts getting way too fucking touchy, and then starts doing movements insinuating. This dude was bigger than me, stronger than me, so like, your girl couldn't get away. And every time I would almost get away, it would just switch to a different position of him doing some other weird shit. I finally get away from this guy, get out of the apartment, and I'm running down the street so I can call an Uber, and the whole time he's yelling, "You stupid, you stupid." I went straight back to my apartment, I got straight in bed, and I just cried. I had a roommate at the time, they kept asking me, like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" And I just kept saying, like, nothing, I don't want to talk about it. I went back on Instagram to DM the magazine to tell them what happened, and their account was gone. So I'm over here trying to look up, like, Carl the photographer, LA, Carl, Silver Lake, anything, and nothing was showing up. At this time, I was going through so much other shit as well, just being in LA and being in toxic groups of people, and just being in really scary situations, as you guys have seen from my other stories. So many times in the past, I have reported things to the police and nothing would come from it. Like, no investigation, nobody arrested, like, nothing. I would just never hear back. So from my older stories where people are like, "Oh my god, are you just talking about it for clout? Did you report it?" This happened almost 10 years ago, a lot of these situations, and yes, I did report it. But there's some dark shit going on out there that, like, some people are just protected, they don't care about, like, certain shit, I don't know. So I called the police and I told them what happened, and they said they would get back to me. I gave them the little information that I had at the time, and they basically said, "Sorry, we can't do anything about it." Saying that this person probably gave me a fake name, fake address, all that, and they're probably just gone. But, "Oh, we'll get back to you if we find out anything." 2 years later, bitch, I decide to try again. This time I'm living in Arizona, I get a social worker, I work with the police. Here we go, involving the Silver Lake police again. I really do appreciate the social worker that was trying to help me as much as she could. We spent hours together trying to look anything up and find anything to get this man. But of course, it led to another dead end, and the police once again dropped the case. So I'm just sharing this story for the girls out there that have the dream of moving out to LA and becoming a model or an actress, anything along the lines in entertainment. Please be fucking careful, like, please. I am not the only person that this kind of thing has happened to. This has happened to hundreds, if not thousands of women and men. And I know it's not my fault that this man couldn't control himself. There are so many weirdos out there trying to prey on people with a dream. I'm sure there's tons of photographers that just want to build their portfolio and they're offering free shoots in exchange. But please do a little bit of investigating and look into, seeing if they've worked with anybody else, and you could reach out to them and see how their experience was if you don't find much info. This was actually one of the main reasons why I left LA. After I realized I wasn't protected out there and I just didn't feel safe anymore, I had to go.
Okay, everybody, and thank you for watching. That was insane. If you've ever lived in LA or been to LA or experienced anything in Hollywood, let me know down in the comments. If you want any videos for me to react to, send it to my email. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'll be posting it in a little bit. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.